Hello you guys, it's Katie and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be sharing products that every crocheter needs slash a gift guide for any friends or family members that you may have that are crocheters. And some of these things can also overlap for knitting or any type of yarn craft that people might do because they're all very similar, so a lot of these products they could use for knitting or crocheting, or they're just useful in general. Like some of the stuff doesn't even really have to do with it, but I am going to share these items because they're things I use while I'm crocheting and I find them really useful. If you guys would like to see more crochet, craft, and business videos, make sure you subscribe down below and turn on the post notification bell, that way you know every time I upload a new video. And as normal with these videos, any product that I mention in this video today will be linked in the description box down below, and if I can't find the exact product, it will be something very similar or as similar as I can find. So yes, and I hope that was helpful for you guys, especially if you're looking for gifts for friends or family. That way you're getting advice from a person that actually crochets instead of if you don't crochet or do any type of crafting stuff, you might have no idea what to get them. So I hope that is helpful to you. So first I'm going to mention some products that definitely don't have anything to do with crocheting, but I really love to have them around me or to use them while I am crocheting. So this first one is a candle, which this one is called Cozy Nights by Fragrant Jewels, which my favorite thing about these candles is, as you can tell, once you burn it down, there's a little package in here, and you either get rings or earrings or something like that, and you choose the candle based off of what your ring size is, and it's just a really cool surprise to figure out what type of jewelry piece you got in these. And they do all types of ones that are like spring and Halloween and different types of themes too, and they all just smell super nice, especially when you're burning them, so highly recommend. But any type of candle will do. It could be Bath & Body Works, it could be Fragrant Jewels, it could be just a regular candle from Amazon. It's just really nice for the ambiance of crocheting because it helps you relax more. So highly recommend to have a candle when you are crocheting or knitting or whatever it is. So my next item is actually a small notepad. This one is from Staples, and I just like these little small notepads to keep on my nightstand when I'm crocheting in bed, because I'm the type of person that I always like to make my own patterns, or if I am using a pattern that somebody else has made, I normally edit it in some sort of way. So I always write down what I'm doing, that way if I mess something up and I have to go back and redo it, I don't accidentally do the same thing. Or let's say if you're like making two arms for a stuffed animal, if you make one arm, you won't forget how to do the second arm if you write it down. So I really like having just a small notepad like this next to my bed. I used to use sticky notes, but then I'd have to have like a million of them to write on, so I've just found that having a notepad like this is really nice. As well as mechanical pencils are super nice to have. It could be a regular pencil too, but I just personally prefer mechanical because it doesn't break as easily, and if it does, there's more lead in it and you don't have to get up and sharpen it and everything. And I also have this erasable highlighter because I'm the type of person that has to highlight everything. I don't really know why, but I really like to have this. And the super cool part is that it's erasable, because I don't know about you, but if I go over when I'm highlighting a word, let's say I just want to highlight one word and I go a little bit over and it like is on top of the next word or something, it really bothers me. So I really enjoy these erasable highlighters, and they come in a pack. This is just like the blue-green one, but I really like these. Plus when I write to-do list, I use these to like make the calligraphy letters and stuff for the day of the week. So these are really cool, and they're basically markers that you can erase, so love that. So I think that's all my products that are kind of random per se. They're not necessarily like yarn or crochet or anything like that, so they're not anything that you would actually need to make something. So now that I've shown you guys all of that, I'm going to move on to actual crochet items or things that you would use to crochet. So the first item that I have is some yarn, which most people would probably think this is self-explanatory, but I want to explain why I brought out this yarn, because I think every person needs to have a yarn that they really just love and they like the colors of and everything like that. So for me personally, my go-to brand is Red Heart Super Saver, because the closest store to me is a Walmart that sells yarn, and they always have Red Heart Super Savers, and they come in like every single color, and the yarn balls are a good size and they're pretty cheap. So this has always been my go-to, but of course yarn, some people that crochet or knit can be pretty picky with yarn, especially with like the texture. So if you are planning on buying a gift for somebody, yarn might not be the best idea, but I think it's super important for any crocheter, knitter, whatever, to have a go-to yarn. And if you haven't figured out your go-to yarn yet, I think you really should, because it's super nice to just know, okay, I need this color. Let me look on this brand's website, or let me look on Walmart's website and see what they have. And I know that the texture of these are always nice and the colors look good and everything like that. And if you're wondering, this color is called Bright Yellow in Red Heart Super Saver. So this next product is actually a lifesaver, especially if you are forgetful like myself. So this is a stitch counter. I always call it a stitch counter, but it's actually a row counter technically. So whenever you're finished with a row or a round of your crochet project, you just click this and the number changes. So it was on 7, it just went to 8, and so on and so forth. It goes all the way up to 99 because of course there's only 2 slots. I personally just love having this, plus this one has a little hole right here that you can put some yarn through or a chain through, and you can wear it around your neck. That way as you're crocheting you can just click it right here and you won't lose it. It's also super compact, so if you're like me and you take your crochet in the car a lot of times, you can easily slip this in your pocket. And it has a lock thing if you're worried about it accidentally clicking when it's in your pocket or something. Or if you have little kids that's gonna mess with it, you can put the lock on, that way they won't click it and it won't change numbers. Super convenient, especially if you're doing a pattern that like every row is different. It's super important to know which row you're on, so highly recommend this. Now I have 2 different yarn needles. I have a plastic one and a metal one, and I have both of them. Some people prefer to only use plastic or only use metal, or like me personally, I prefer to use them for different reasons. So if I'm just weaving in my ends of like a blanket or something, I prefer metal ones just because they're more sturdy. But if I'm making a stuffed animal or something, I prefer the plastic ones because they are more flexible before they'll break, which they will break sometimes, so you have to be careful. But I prefer these because they are a little bit more flexible when you're trying to like sew on an arm or something on a stuffed animal. The plastic ones work a lot better for me. But I also lose these things all the time. Like I'm sure there's probably like a million of them in my car, in my mom's car, and everybody's car that I've ever crocheted in, plus like under my bed and on the couch and you know, everywhere. So this is a great gift item as well, especially if you know if the person prefers plastic or metal ones, or if you want to just get, like Amazon has packs that have both. But a great gift idea because honestly you can never have too many unless they're actually good at keeping track of their stuff. This next thing I got at a local yarn shop, so I'm not sure if you guys would actually be able to find this, but it is called Clover, and it's basically like a blade inside of this little necklace piece. I'm going to show you with my yellow yarn just as an explanation. So you can take the yarn and put it in any one of these here, and then you can pull down and it cuts the yarn. And I really like this one specifically because it's really compact, and just like the row counter that I showed you guys, it has a hole through here so you could put a chain or a piece of yarn or anything through here to put it on your neck as well. Or like me, I put all of these things in my pocket normally, and it's good that the blade is covered too, that way it doesn't like cut my pocket or whatever. This was kind of expensive though, but I do think it's something that's really nice to have. So I have another type of yarn cutter that isn't very traditional. This one is actually scissors, but they're shaped like this, and it has a little cover to go on them and everything. And I find this super convenient as well because, like I said, I take a lot of my projects on the road and stuff, and I'm always rushing out of the house when I'm taking a project with me, so I like to slip this in my back pocket or something, and since it has the cover, I don't have to worry about stabbing myself. So also very nice to have, and this is much cheaper than the other one. So this next item, I don't want to flip it up too much because my stuff is in it and it will fall all the way down, but this is an organizer, and I will tell you what I have organized in this. I don't have all of the things filled up, there's 2 missing, but I have plastic yarn needles, metal yarn needles, clothespins, stitch markers, and then I have backings for my eyeballs that I use on my stuffed animals. Those button eyes came with backings that were just in like a baggie, and I was like, oh no, I need to put this somewhere. So I got that, and then there's also just some extra button eyes that for some reason weren't in the little box that I got. I should have showed you guys that, but if you have someone that crochets or knits or whatever and they really like to make stuffed animals and you don't see them using button eyes, I would suggest that as well. I'll link that down below as well, even though I don't have it here to show you guys. But that's something super easy, you can get them, and they all come in different sizes and different colors. That way, instead of having to crochet the eyes, they can just use buttons, and I find it super convenient. But anyway, I use this organizing system to organize some of my crochet stuff, and I just find it super useful. This one came from Dollar Tree, but I will try to find a similar one on Amazon to link for you guys down below. So my next item is a little crochet hook holder. So this is what mine looks like. I actually don't know where this is from because I did get this from a friend. She had 2, actually the friend that taught me how to crochet. But it looks like this, and oops, that one doesn't fit in there very well. But I have my really tiny crochet hooks that I don't use that often, but if you have like really thin yarn, normally you would use these. And then I have some bigger ones here that I have repeats of. I had a 3rd one, it's down there. But most of my crochet hooks are in a different spot, which I will show you in just a few minutes. But I find this super convenient because it just zips up, it's really nice and compact, and again, for travel, really nice. And a lot of times when you buy these, you can get crochet hooks with them, and stitch markers, and a bunch of different stuff that you'll need to start out. So if you do buy something like this, and you haven't started crocheting yet, I would think buy one that comes with the hooks and comes with yarn needles and stuff like that you'll need, but super nice and convenient. So another essential of mine is stitch markers, and I'm sure most people know what stitch markers are, but just in case you don't, when you're making stitches, especially if you're making something that's in a round, like when I had to make the head and the body for that snowman, it's in a circle. So to know when you're done with each round of the circle, you normally put a stitch marker in, and this goes in the first stitch or the last stitch of a round. It just depends on what you prefer, but you just clip it onto a stitch and it stays in there, and then when you get back to the stitch marker, you take it out, do the stitch, and put it back in. Super useful to have. Also, I do share a life hack on other things you can use these for, and if you guys haven't seen my tips for beginner crocheter videos, it's in that video. If you guys want to see it right here, you can click there and find out some of my hacks for this, or just if you want to learn some other tips from me, then by all means you can check out that video after this one. But very useful. There's also different types. So this type just like it doesn't clamp on, it just kind of like hooks into it, but it doesn't have a clamp. And then I also got these ones that are really cute. It's like, it's really hard to see with my lighting, but it's a cat cutout on like a little wood piece, and then it's actually just a clothespin here to use as a stitch marker, but it's really cute, and my mom bought me these. But you can never have too many stitch markers because just like yarn needles, I lose them all the time. Now, this final item I think is the best gift. Well, maybe not the best, but I did receive this last year for Christmas, and it is game-changing, especially if you're taking your projects on the road, or even if you're not. It's really useful, even if you're just taking it from your bedroom to the couch and back. It is super useful. So this is my yarn bag, which as you can see, it's just red, and it has red in the inside with white polka dots, and it has a handle here, which is a long one, so you can put it over your shoulder, and there's a handle right here, so you can just hold it like this. Of course, it would normally be zipped, but I have it open so I can show you guys. But you put your yarn in here, and then there's actually some pockets here too, so you can store some crochet hooks, or your stitch marker, or even your pens and pencils, or your notepad, or whatever in here when you're on the go. And then you just poke the yarn in through here. And the best part is you don't even have to open the bag, because there is these little slits here. So in reality, if you have like yarn that isn't a super big ball, you can have 4 of them in here, because there's 4 little holes, and it does open differently here too. So like if there's a knot or something, you can pull it out without having to unzip the whole thing. Another thing I love about it too is all the pockets on the front. Normally I have my most used crochet hooks in these, and then like my stitch counter, and like stitch markers and different items in here. And then in here I have some larger crochet hooks, like this is my 10mm that I don't use very often, but it is in here just in case. But this is super nice to put all of your crochet stuff in. It can fit almost all of the stuff. Like for example, I don't take this everywhere I go. That stays in my room. But I can fit my pens, my pencils, my notebook, my row counter, my yarn needles. I can even fit this with all my crochet hooks in here. So if I'm going on like a week-long trip or something, I can have everything I need to crochet. And normally I tend to keep my basic colors in here, so like black, white, gray. And if I'm working on a project that uses a lot of a certain color, like red or something, I'll keep that in here as well. But since I haven't been doing much traveling lately because of quarantine, this is actually currently empty. But like I said, even if you're just moving from your bed to the couch to back with your yarn and your crochet stuff, it's super nice to just have it all in one bag so you can grab it. And it's especially nice to have holes on the top of the bag where you can just pull the yarn through. So you guys, this is all of the products slash gift ideas I thought of that every crocheter should have. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more from me, you can subscribe to my channel down below and turn on the post notification bell. That way you know every time I upload a new video. And make sure that when you're turning on the post notification bell, you select all, because that will ensure that you receive all notifications when I upload every video instead of just sometimes when I upload videos. If you guys have any products that you swear by, if you're a crocheter or knitter, or even if you've just heard of products that you think I should try as a crocheter, leave them in the comments down below, and maybe I'll make a part 2 of this video and maybe your product will show up. Or even if you don't have any products to share with me, just leave me a comment down below and let me know if this video was helpful for you guys, or if you'd like to see any other types of videos like this one. If you guys would like to see more of the personal side of my life, project updates, video updates, and more, you can follow me on my social media, which are all at Katie Bean Creative and linked in the description box down below. If you guys would like to check out the written blog post of this video, you can also do that with the link down below. And if you'd like to check out my Etsy product that I posted this week, that will be linked below as well. If you guys want to watch some more videos of mine, there are some that I think you may like linked in the description box down below, and there will be some linked at the end of the video. And with all of that, thank you all so much for watching, liking, subscribing, and all of your support, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Goodbye!